What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Alex Cuesta Show. Hope everybody is doing well on this Thursday, October 13th of 2022. Before we get into the fun stuff, like, share, follow, subscribe, or rate 5 stars on Spotify and iTunes. Spread this to all your friends. And as always, go find us on the socials at the Alex Cuesta Show. This week, unfortunately, we will not be having a guest. I know we've had a string of them so far, and they've all been fantastic. We had one lined up. Sometimes things just don't work out. They get busy, hence why we're recording a day late, and it's okay. We will have that guest on again another time because we are determined, because the topic today has a lot to do with that guest. But before we jump into anything, hello, David. How are you?
Hi. I'm pretty good. I'm excited to talk about the topic that we're going to talk about today, because we talked about it many times before, and, we just enjoy it.
Yes, we have talked about it many times before, but I think this time is going to be a little bit different. Now, we're talking about New York Jets football. We're through 5 weeks, and I don't think where any of us really would have thought, really going into this season, especially with Zach Wilson getting hurt early and having to go to Joe Flacco for 3 games. I don't think any Jet fan thinks that we're sitting 3-2 after going through the AFC North and playing the Dolphins. Granted, an injured Dolphins team, part of the injury was caused by the Jets, but I'm not giving the Dolphins any excuse because this Jets football team is injured. Our O-line has been decimated, and we're 3-2. So I'm not giving them a pass, but this week we're kind of at the quarter+1 mark because the NFL schedule is weird now, and it's not a 16-game season anymore. It's 17 games. So this is kind of the quarter mark. I feel like everyone is using this as their line of demarcation. If you look online, this is kind of the first quarter. So Dave, before we jump into all, we're going to get specific. We're going to talk about specials, offense, defense, coaching. We're going to do a little bit of everything. But before we get into that, just what is your feeling right now about the team?
I feel pretty good. I remember I've talked to a bunch of people about the Jets, but I remember I talked to one specific person, and I said to them, if the Jets can go 2-2 through the AFC North, we have a chance to have a good season on our hands. That is something that you want to see, going 2-2 through these first 4 games, because then everything could open up after that. I mean, I know that the Dolphins were obviously a test before Tua got hurt, and then, of course, we hurt Teddy. But still, a test of a team in general. And we have other games to play, but you start off 2-2, you have hope throughout the season to actually make some kind of push for the playoffs. Yes. You start off 1-3 or 0-4, that's basically the end of your season already. So, I mean, just going 2-2 and then beating the Dolphins the way we did to get 3-2, I feel pretty good. We'll see I feel better about this Jets team than I have of past ones. There's a lot more confidence in some of the things this Jets team does. But this next game against the Packers is the type of game where if it is same old Jets, we get blown out. So we'll see what happens. I feel good about this game. I don't think it's going to happen, but I know football-wise, never be let down by something like that happening.
Where I think the Jets may fall into trouble this week is everybody knows what the Jets are trying to do now. Through the first 5 weeks, we had Joe Flacco for 3 games. So it was kind of like, do we know what this Jets offense is really going to look like? Flacco's going to check the ball down a lot. He's a statue. They're going to rely on the running backs, yada, yada. Flacco's a good deep ball thrower. Mm-hmm. So teams, I think, were kind of a little bit on edge. They didn't know exactly what they were going to get from Flacco.
Yeah.
When it comes to the offense the last 2 weeks, Zach Wilson's back. How does Wilson look? What does he do? I think we clearly saw what this offense wants to be this past week, running through our 2 running backs, Wilson taking care of the football, and, just playing competent, good, unpredictable offense. I think a good thing is our offense is unpredictable, which is frustrating to fans at times, because I think we're looking at some of Matt LaFleur's play calls and we're like, the fuck are you doing? But at other times, we got to just trust him because it's working. So before we get too much in the weeds with all this, Dave, let's start jumping down the units and let's really, not go too deep because obviously we don't want to sit here for 5 hours like we can, but deep enough to give kind of an analysis. So let's start with the unit that I don't think is getting enough love because it's been steady and it's been a really good phase of this team, the special teams unit. Well, let's start off with a kicker. Me and you have complained about our kicking situation a good amount. Ever since we let go of Jay Myers now, was this 4 years ago? 5 years ago, at least?
Yeah,
because he went and won a Super Bowl with Seattle. Whenever Seattle won the Super Bowl is when they grabbed Jay Myers. He was on that Super Bowl team, I believe.
I don't know about that.
Was he not?
I don't know about that.
I thought he was. Either way,
I don't think so.
It's been a little while since we've had Jay Myers, but since then, the Jets have not been able to get a kicking situation right. We've went through a ton of guys. None of them have been consistent. Greg Zuerlein is not going to be a Jet for a long time. He's at the end of his career at this point, maybe another year or so. But what he's doing for the Jets right now is something that Jets fans haven't seen in a long time. He's been consistent, Dave. He's making 50-plus yarders nice and easy. He's making all the easy ones. I'm not worried about extra points anymore, which I used to be worried about extra points. They're pretty automatic right now. How do you feel so far with our kicking game? It used to be able, we used to hold our breath every time. Right now, I'm just watching it and it's routine like it should be.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel good. Greg DeLeg, he started off shaky the first game, but now he's been fine. I don't have any worries when he's up to kick. And so I'm happy about that. That's you don't want to have to really ever be actually talking about your kicker much. Like the only kickers that really should be talked about if they're doing well is like Justin Tucker because he's a machine. Yeah. But other than like him, you're not going to talk about many kickers unless they're making a ton of clutch kicks and stuff like that. Like you just don't want to be mentioning their name too much because if you are, it's usually to complain about them.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Let's stick with the kicking guys. Brandon Mann was a guy that at the beginning of this year, I think a lot of fans were going, maybe we need a new punter because last year he was not good. There was just a flat out. He was not a good punter.
Mann, by the way.
Braden Mann. He was our best draft pick 3 years ago, but he was not good. He just wasn't. He was shanking a lot of kicks. He didn't have the leg that we saw his rookie year. His rookie year was pretty good. A little inconsistent as a rookie, but still good. This year, he's been outstanding. I think he maybe has one bad kick, and it wasn't even a terrible kick. Yeah. But for the most part, he's done exquisite, especially at the start of that Dolphins game when, when we needed
between into five, basically.
His first two punts was in the 10 and another one was at the 3. Yeah. Like he was a big reason why the Jets got the safety early because of his great punting ability and things like that. So he's been great. We have to give him credit. Dave, I don't know if you have too much to say about Braden, but
not really. I mean, it's just yet again, I haven't had to say, damn it, man, what are you doing? So I'm happy about that. Like you said in this Dolphins game, I was just happy because he had good punts that even gave the airtime to get our gunners down there in order to field it and stop it at the best possible time. So he's been good this year. I'm very happy with him. I want him to continue just so we don't have to ever shop for a punter for a while because that would be awesome.
Now, another question, is Braxton Berrios going to get shanked again when it comes to, not being an all-pro? Because I think he's already at an all-pro start. Every time he's had a chance to return the ball,
he's returned it well.
He's especially off punts. On the kicks, I think he's a good kick returner. I'd maybe like to see a running back. I'm always a fan of running backs returning kicks, mostly because I think they're a little tougher. I think they take hits a little bit better and they see lanes a little bit better. It's kind of just that's what they do as running backs.
I just think it's hard to say. Returner. I just think it's hard to say no to his acceleration.
Agreed.
His ability to get to top speed and just no time at all is terrifying to go up against. So I think he's been just fine. I think he's actually done pretty damn well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I always envy guys that aren't huge like him. And you see him just getting fucking mollywopped. And he just gets back up. And he just gets back up and he plays. He had one weird moment with the touchdown when he got hit on the head, but he just gets back up. And it's like, I'm sitting there looking at it. And I don't think Braxton Berrios is much bigger than me or you in every which way. I think size-wise, he's obviously in better shape. But I don't know, Dave. I think I'd die if I took like one hit that,
Yeah,
that
really.
Barrios took.
Yeah, no, like these are NFL hits. So yeah, he's 5'9", 190.
Yeah.
He's our size.
And I think 190 is a lie. I think people put that. You look at Braxton Barrios. I don't think he's 190.
Yeah, but that's what it said on Google. So
but good for him. And lastly, on specials, let's close out. Guy up there for special teams player of the year so far, Justin Hardy Sr. He's a captain on the team for a reason.
Yep.
He's one of the veteran leaders.
The reason why we won that Browns game. One of
the big ones. And, we always hear a lot whenever, the Patriots are on. Still to this day.
I think it was Slater, him and Parks.
Him and Parks.
I think it was him and Parks that helped that onside kick. I'm sorry.
There was those two. But whenever you watch the Patriots, still to this day, what do they mention? Matthew Slater, right? Matthew Slater is a guy, he's a household name with the Patriots because he's been an amazing special teams player, and he's been a Pro Bowler in the special teams for years and years and years. And, I think Justin Hardy can challenge him because he's doing a lot. You see his name all the time, whether it's on kickoffs, whether it's on punts. He's our main gunner. Some guys are just built to play special teams, and his role is imperative. Yep. He's extremely important because guys returning the football know they probably should think twice about taking it back if he's anywhere near them. So I love what I see out of that.
Yeah. I mean, he was good in New Orleans. We knew he was a good special teams guy in New Orleans, so we bring him in here to be a good special teams guy. Because a lot of people don't think about it, and you only really notice it when it goes bad or when it goes miraculous. But special teams is extremely important.
And, a lot of times, a lot of teams are looking for is that rookie or second year guy down the depth chart.
Yeah.
Willing to develop into a special teams guy. It's rare that you have a veteran, bona fide special team specialist that understands the art of it. There's an art to being a gunner, to winning the hand games, especially Hardy's double teamed all the time now in punts.
Yeah.
They always double team him and try to push him out of bounds. And he's very good at not letting that happen. So kudos to them. So our specials so far have been a very good unit.
Yep.
And in order to be a good football team, people don't understand you have to have a good special team unit. It's not just the offense and defense. But let's jump over to offense because, we're going to save our best unit for last. And I think it's fair to say our best unit's our defense so far. But our offense for once, Dave, for once in Jets history, is not lagging that far behind. And
that's the thing. I think some people might actually take you to task on that with the way the defense has played. Not the last 2 weeks, but previously. But either way, I'm fine with going offense. It don't matter to me.
And here's the thing. Our defense, and the reason why I say our defense, and I'll skip ahead, we have the best two corners in football currently. So it's hard to say. And I'm going to go out and absolutely say currently as a tandem, we have the best two cornerbacks in football, and the stats back it up. So it's hard to say that they're not still the rock of this team. And when they've needed to step up, they have all 5 weeks. But our offense has been good. And credit to Joe Flacco, was good enough for 3 weeks to keep us competitive, played good enough football. Zach Wilson comes back, Dave. None of us knew. None of us knew what we were going to get. We saw the beginning of the preseason, and I'm not going to lie, Dave. I know it's just preseason, but he looked like rookie Zach in that preseason game. He threw bad passes. He looked like he didn't know where he was going. And then he got hurt. And we're all just like, fuck, what is going to happen? These last two games has been last 5 games of last season, but better. He looks confident. He looks like he knows what he's doing. Hasn't got flashy numbers. 252 yards game 1, 210 last week, I think. It was not a ton. A big chunk of that last week was a 79-yard run off Breece Hall. But I want to remind people, because a lot of people are going to go back, that was that one chunk play. That play wasn't caused by Breece Hall, people. That was a perfect pass by Zach Wilson to lead him on a wheel route. Go watch the play. Breece Hall is in a full sprint, and he doesn't break stride. That's skill. And the thing with me, Dave, this year, about everything. We know Wilson has a cannon. We know he can make that out route on a rope. We know he can fit it into windows, which we've seen him do. He loves Corey Davis. Corey Davis is playing well with him. But he's hitting the short ones, Dave. He's hitting the easy ones, especially last week. Struggled a little the week before, but last week he didn't miss any of the easy ones. I like what I'm seeing out of Wilson right now, Dave.
And it's not because that is an actual big step up for him, which is wild to say. But it's not even just that it's the actual confidence that you could see in the pocket from him. He's not trying to get out of pocket. He's not trying to.
No.
Like, that's not what he wants to do at all. He'll do it if he needs to. He has that internal clock.
Yep.
But he's able to sit in the pocket. He has the presence in mind. Because one thing that was a stark difference from when Joe Flacco came back out because Zach was back was the fact of the matter is that the Steelers were still able to get into our backfield.
Yep.
But Zach has the movement ability to make sure that a sack isn't going to happen. I think we only took 2 that game when it could have been more.
Yep.
But that was a huge difference. That Flacco, more of a statue, he's an old guy. So, he hasn't never really been mobile, plus he's old now. So, but Zach definitely has the pocket presence, and he has the confidence now that you didn't see in his rookie year, where in rookie year, he might get out of pocket when it's perfectly fine there. Like, it's a clean pocket. There's not really much going on. He still tries to dash out. This year, he's not doing that. He's going through his reads. He's trying to find where he can get the ball. So, and then that is one of the biggest jumps for any QB, because pocket presence and having your internal clock to know what you have, how much time you have, is something that some QBs just never learn, just can never get adapted to in the NFL. So to see that jump is really, really good. It can give you a lot of hope that Zach is going to be something that we thought he was going to be.
Yeah. And, and I have to say, he had 7 incompletions last week, right? I think it was 14 to 21 or something like that. It was short. Out of those incompletions, 2 of them were toe tap misses where only his receivers could get. If Elijah Moore and, Davis are an inch inside the line each, you have 20-plus yard completions to both of those guys on frozen ropes. And one of his completions was an intentional airmail out of the end zone that you only see when a quarterback who's confident to lift to play another down does. There were some good things that happened. When he got sacked on that 20-yard sack when he went back, young Zach Wilson still tries to reel up and fire the ball out when he's getting tackled. This Zach Wilson is like, all right, this sucked. I couldn't get away. On the other sack he took, he rolled up and ate it. He didn't try to make a play. He was stepping up, and he saw the guy coming, and instead of taking a chance of fumbling the ball, instead of taking a chance to get it tipped out, he tucked it and ate it and let the Jets punt. That's what good quarterbacks do. That's what veterans do. That's what guys that are great, your Aaron Rodgers, your Tom Brady's, all your guys, even your Patty Mahomes. Yes, Patty Mahomes makes incredible plays. But if Patty Mahomes is clearly getting sacked, he tucks the ball and he lifts to play another down. That's what good quarterbacks understand. And, Joe Flacco did it out of necessity, right? Because he couldn't get away. Zach Wilson knows he has that athletic ability, but he still chose to understand where the Jets were in the football game and trusted his defense. There's a big thing going on there. So I really liked what I saw out of Zach this week. Let's jump in, though, to the focal point of our team, of this offense. Breece Hall and Michael Carter.
Yep.
It's quite obvious at this point, week 5, Breece Hall's our number 1 running back.
Yes.
But we have a number 1 running back as our second running back as well. Michael Carter starts on, I think, at least 18 of 32 teams this year. I'm not going to say all of them because there's some studs.
He starts on a decent amount of teams.
On a decent amount of teams.
He gets a lot of touches on most teams.
And he gets a lot of touches. And don't get me wrong. Listen, we've seen Breece Hall get majority of the touches the last 2 games. There's going to be some Michael Carter games, guys. We're not, fantasy value here, everybody. Michael Carter was still trusted to get both touchdowns. And maybe it's because they thought Breece was tired, but maybe it's a way of saying to Michael Carter, you're still involved. This might be Matt LaFleur saying, like, you're still involved. This is still part of your team. Just because we're using Breece more doesn't mean that you're not in this game. So I like what I see there. Breece Hall is going to have the chance to be one of the best running backs in the NFL. And Michael Carter, we could be looking at a Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams type of situation that they had in Carolina for a little. We could have easily 2,000-yard backs, like a Chubb, Kareem Hunt type of deal. And it's exciting, Dave. You made the comparison of Breece Hall, and Zach Rosenblatt agreed with you, which was awesome. Who did
Yes.
you say Brees Hall reminds you of?
Well, first, I do want to correct you because I thought you said it wrong the first time.
Michael LaFleur?
It's Michael LaFleur. Not
Yeah, I
Michael.
confused
We're
them
going
all.
against Matt LaFleur.
Maybe
soon.
that's why, because we're playing Matt
Yeah.
LaFleur this week.
It's like
Michael
mixing
LaFleur.
up the hardballs.
I suck with the names today, Dave. Keep on
It's all
correcting
right.
me.
It's okay. But yeah, no, I said to you, I think yesterday I said it to you.
It was before I saw it today.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I said to you that Brees Hall reminded me of Matt Forte.
Yep.
Just the way he runs. I don't know. It's just a style of running and his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield and make plays off of it. Very Matt Forte like. And maybe it's because not only I saw some of him on the Bears, but he also came to the Jets when he was older.
Yep.
But I was able to see Matt Forte run, and I could see a lot of that in Brees Hall. And I'm kind of fun to see someone else say that. Someone
Yeah,
that has some name. So
Yeah. The fact that I saw Zach Rosenblatt tweeted that out today, shout out to Zach, and flat out said Brees Hall reminds me a lot of Matt Forte, and it's word for word exactly what you said to me yesterday. So it was just pretty cool to see.
It's just weird because I'm not even really going off of like dynamics of how he does things. It's like the way I look at him, the way he runs, it's like, okay, it looks kind of like the way Matt Forte did it. So
I need a better version of Matt Forte though, because Matt Forte was never the best running back in the NFL. Was a top 5 guy, top 3 at certain points, but he also was in the prime of an Adrian Peterson with a lot of really good running backs at the time. So, but he's shined and he was one of the better ones. But that also means that there's a potential workhorse because Matt Forte was a 20 touch game a guy for that Bears team.
And the thing is that with the LaFleur offense, you knew we were coming in and we wanted that kind of running back by committee, that real, not even exactly run heavy, but like an off tackle kind of running scheme where it's going to be a lot of speed. There's going to be a lot of catching out of the backfield, and these running backs can do everything and really hurt you. So having that pick of Brees Hall was perfect for our scheme because we already had Michael Carter, who proved he can run the ball sufficiently well last year.
Yep.
So you add Brees Hall to it, who looks like a better running back, which is no issue with Michael Carter. Brees Hall is just an absolute monster. But you have those two in the backfield when they're lined up right next to Zach Wilson on either side. You're getting kind of worried about who's going to get the ball and what they're going to do.
And they're doing that a lot.
Exactly.
And I love that. They're lining both guys up next to each other. And the thing about them, too, we talked about this earlier, Dave. They're both willing blockers.
Yep.
They have no problem leaving either of them in on passing downs. And you just see them. They run as fast as they fucking can to the line to take a hit from a linebacker. And they both take pride in trying to stonewall these guys. And you don't see that a lot. One of the best guy in the NFL, I think, still to do it is Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott, to me, is still the best pass blocking running back because, again, he's a willing guy. He enjoys it. You have to be a sick type of freak to enjoy that type of thing because you're in a very vulnerable spot with these linebackers who like nothing more than to kill people. And you're sitting there putting yourself there, standing your ground and going, bitch, please. You're not. And they stonewall. And they're not just trying to cut block guys. They're standing and delivering. And it's awesome to see. They're definitely our focal point. I'm having fun with it.
Yes.
So let's go on to the next faction, our wideouts. Last 2 weeks, it's been the Corey Davis party.
Yep.
Zach Wilson and Corey Davis have a great connection. The first 3 weeks, it was Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, a lot more with Joe Flacco. I don't know if it's a stylistic thing between Flacco and Wilson, what they like to see more, or if it's a connection thing. But our wideouts, Dave, we have a lot of weapons, and we haven't seen many drops so far, which is beautiful. Because in the past, last year for Wilson, he had a lot of drops against him. This year with Wilson, at least, we've seen less drops. Flacco had a few games where the guys dropped a good amount of balls. They haven't dropped as many for Wilson. I'd like to see him get Garrett Wilson involved more. I'd love to see Elijah Moore involved a little more. I mean, Tyler Conklin and CJ Uzoma are non-existent right now. Conklin had a good first game against the Steelers, but last week he was gone. Like, we didn't see him. I'd like to see him get the tight ends involved more, but I guess they kind of lag behind when our running backs are involved as much. So, but I mean, I'm happy with our wideout play. Especially Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore. Their win rate is incredible in their routes. They're both ranked top 15 in the NFL with their win rate on routes. Corey Davis just knows how to get open in seams at this point, and he has a good connection with Zach. I'm extremely pleased with our wide receiver play at the moment.
Yeah. Zach absolutely loves Corey Davis, but even though he does, it's not like he's staring him down. He's actually spreading the love, which is a very good thing. But yeah, you could see the connection with him and Corey Davis is just there. And
the confidence.
It's probably because of last year. You know, Corey was his number one last year. So yeah, he really has that confidence going to Davis, but he's more than willing to throw it to everyone else. Garrett Wilson is an absolute stud. Just because he's quieted down the last couple of weeks doesn't mean that his separation's incredible and his ability to get yards after the catch is unbelievable. So I mean, there's no reason not to be excited to just watch him play. I mean, similar with Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore is an absolute monster as well. He just, yet again, creates separation, fast as all hell. And, I mean, Zach has to be loving it because it's I mean, is it the best wide receiving core in the NFL? No, but it's a pretty damn good one. It's riches that you would love to have as a quarterback. It's something that Aaron Rodgers would love to have, I'll tell you that.
Yep.
So Zach is, I think that definitely plays into Zach's confidence coming into this year, knowing he has guys that are fast as hell, but can also create separation just off the jump too. I mean, you saw that touchdown throw to Garrett Wilson that Flacco made in the Browns game. Like immediate, right off the hike. He created separation on that fade and easy touchdown.
And the thing is, like, and it's interesting, we don't have to mention Braxton Berrios or Jeff Smith. And Jeff Smith made a really nice third down catch last week. A nice one where they did a rub and a play design for him. So it shows confidence that the Jets have in all their guys. Braxton Berrios is officially the gadget guy. I think he's, maybe I think they're trying to let Elijah Moore do more route running because he hasn't done it as much. Barrios has been our gadget guy on jet sweeps and things like that. And it's been awesome. It's been awesome. And again, like you said, it's a nice luxury, I think, for Zach to have. Now, let's talk lastly about, we talked about Hall and Carter are the focal point, but the stars of this offense so far have just been the offensive line coach and this offensive line unit. Unbelievable. Dave, 5 straight weeks. We're 5 weeks deep, right? We've had 5 different line configurations in 5 weeks. Most teams are 0-5 at that point.
Yes.
We're 3-2, beating some decent football teams and not getting destroyed by the good ones. And this is with your backup quarterback with a different cadence style, a different style of play behind them for 2 separate times. And it's been unbelievable. We started off with Mekhi Becton as our starter in the right tackle, Elijah Vera Tucker as our right guard, McGovern at center, Blake and Tomlinson, and George Font at left tackle.
Yeah.
Becton goes down, Font slides over. We get Dwayne Brown. Dwayne Brown gets hurt. Font slides back. Max Mitchell goes down.
Well, no,
Font goes down. Mitchell goes down. So then Elijah Vera Tucker goes over. We get Dwayne Brown. Dwayne Brown jumps in. Vera Tucker stays at guard. I don't know. I don't even know anymore.
It's a lot of movement. That's all that matters.
We've settled in on Dwayne Brown coming in last week, playing left tackle immaculately. Laken Tomlinson has been as left guard the whole time. McGovern has been at center, doing more than good enough. We haven't heard his name. It's been great. And then
Nate Herbig.
Nate Herbig at guard. Thank you. I haven't gotten his name right once in this conversation before the show. Nate Herbig was a backup on the Eagles. Joe Douglas's connection with the Eagles is amazing. And Elijah Vera Tucker playing his 3rd different position in a right tackle spot this year that he's never played before. And he gave up 0 hurries, 0 pressures, 0 sacks, 0 QB hits. Elijah Vera Tucker is the best lineman in the NFL right now. I'm going to go out there and say it. The most versatile, and he's done everything right. It's been incredible. They are the stars of this football team. You mentioned Zach Wilson having confidence in his pocket. He's been confident because he trusts these guys. And they're doing their part. They're getting enough time, they're getting enough push for our running backs to do their job and giving Wilson enough time to make a decision. Dave, it's been amazing. They're the stars of this team right now.
So we've had issues with our line in the past. We've had these type of injury issues with our line.
It's been ridiculous.
It's been way scarier than it has been this year. Because even though this line still has had some problems this year, last week our line was perfectly fine. Our line played pretty damn well. So it is wild. Elijah Vera Tucker is the hero of our team this year so far. Just all the movement and just his play has been incredible. Dwayne Brown, someone said he looks like Blastoise with his pattern and everything, and I love that. But he played incredibly well.
Oh man, we missed out, Dave. If we still had Frank Gore, we'd have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and Blastoise on the team.
Frank, come
back for a game.
But either way, this line has really stepped up every time that they've needed to this year. And I think a part of it seems to be because of just the passion you see in this team. Starting off with Salah. I mean, Salah, he's nicer in the press conferences, but you see him on the sideline. I'm not to say he's mean, I'm saying, but his passion, it really shows on the sideline.
And it looks like he's willing to get in guys' ass if he needs to.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is that you could see that the offensive line knows what they're doing, and every single down they want to put in that damn effort in order to get that play to run well.
And you mentioned the effort, and I think they see the weapons that are there. They understand that if they could do their job just decently, then that's going to be successful.
Yeah.
So I think it's just kind of the faith. And, I think you mentioned when we were on the phone talking earlier, how do you just understand the way that this team works right now, and especially this offense? When Zach Wilson comes in last week against the Steelers and comes in that huddle and goes, let's go score a fucking touchdown.
Yep.
And what did they do? Walk down the field and scored a touchdown. And it's just, that's not a mistake.
Yep.
You don't do that by mistake. You don't march down, in hostile territory and win a game against a not as good Steelers team, granted. Not as good.
No.
But still the Steelers in their home stadium. It's not easy to do. So our offense has been better than expected. For once, Dave, our expectations and what the fans think that they see in their team and predict what their team can be looks throughout, at least through 5 weeks, looks like it's coming to fruition for this team.
Yes.
Which is nuts.
At least in most ways.
In most ways. So let's jump to our D. The defense, I mean, we talk about the rock of the team. Maybe in the first few weeks they were a little shaky, but the last 2 wins, we won 2 games in a row, and a lot of that has to do with our defense making stops when they have to, getting turnovers. David, when was the last time our defense got turnovers?
Exactly.
You probably have to go back to Revis Cromartie.
We've tied our number of interceptions, I believe, from last year already.
Yeah.
Which is 7.
Yeah. You got to go back to Revis Cromartie, Jim Leonard, and probably Eric Smith as our secondary. I think you might have to go back that far. And that's the last time that we were turnover machines. And we're getting it done now. And it's because most of the time, our guys the quarterbacks have nowhere to throw. And our guys that have benefited have been our safeties. Joyner and Whitehead have benefited huge because you have DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner are the best cornerback tandem in the NFL. And then, like I said, the numbers back it up. It's not close. Our rookie, we have an Antonio Cromartie-like young player in Sauce Gardner. I'm not going to call him Revis because, he has a long way to become Darrelle Revis. But I'm happy to say Antonio Cromartie. He looks like him. He plays like him. And DJ Reed is just DJ Reed. I'm not going to compare him to anybody. He's just intuitive. He's just an intuitive guy. And he plays the position so well. And then you have Michael Carter, the second slot corner, second-year guy, looks like he's been doing it forever. And he, to me, has the toughest position because slot guys in the NFL rule right now. So our secondary has been just off the charts. And then Eccles coming in, and whenever Eccles comes in, they don't miss a beat in the dime package. I feel bad for Hall. Hall has not played as well. Bryce Hall.
Yep.
But I'm hoping he can get his confidence back. I really do. Because if Bryce Hall can get his confidence back and we can go 5 deep at corner with this group, it could be something special, Dave. Yeah. It really could.
Yeah. No, these cornerbacks have been stupid good. We expected some good level of play. DJ Reed was coming over, and he
didn't
was good
expect
over
Sauce to be this good.
We hoped it could be good. We were expecting. We picked him at 4 because we expect him to play well.
Yes.
But we didn't expect him to play this well.
Rookie of the week, by the way.
Yes. But that's the thing, is that right now, through the first 5 weeks, I don't think it's very difficult to say, or that any people are going to argue a crazy amount to say Sauce Gardner is defensive rookie of the year right now.
Didn't he hold Jamar Chase to like under 40 yards?
something like that.
And who is it? We
Yeah.
held someone else to like under who was
Yeah,
it?
he's been ridiculous.
It's been incredible how well he's played. It really
Yeah.
has. Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill had 7 catches, 40 something yards. When Tyreek Hill has 7 catches, it's usually 130.
Yeah.
The secondary did that.
Granted, third string QB, but still, Tyreek Hill's fast
But he
as hell.
looked for Tyreek Hill every time.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill's fast as hell. Usually can take a screen 40 yards. So
Yes.
it's still good tackling and good job. But either way, our cornerbacks have been fantastic. The safeties were shaky at first. They provided some of the difficulties that we had on our defense in the first couple of weeks.
Mhm.
But since the Steelers game, they have really stepped up. They've played very well, especially LaMarcus Joyner. LaMarcus Joyner has played a lot well since then. I don't know what exactly clicked, but it just clicked. And I mean, Whitehead's been flying around. He's one of our heavy hitters.
Yes.
He loves to hit people,
Yes,
and that's a lot of fun for this defense. You could see that's what they love to do. They love really coming down and laying you out, showing you that they are here. They are here, and they're going to put you down.
So the question for me is, Dave, as we jump into the linebacking core, who hits harder, Whitehead, Quincy Williams, or Quan Alexander?
Quincy Williams. Every time Quincy
There's
Williams
no
hits someone, I'm
hesitation.
actually scared. Like Quan, it's fun. Whitehead, still fun. Quincy Williams, I'm scared for that person. I
Okay.
am terrified for that person's
Here's the next
well-being.
question. Who kills a man on the field first, Michael Clemens or Quincy Williams?
Probably Michael Clemens, but that's a completely different factor. Michael Clemens' like stare and voice is just is intimidating, and it's nothing really against the guy. Like it's nothing against Michael Clemens. He's just an intimidating man.
I'm getting a Michael Clemens jersey, by the way.
I wouldn't
He's
blame
my
you.
favorite player.
I would not blame you.
Just because he looks like a video game. When you just hold sprint the whole time on an old Madden, that's the way Michael Clemens is because he's always sprinting.
All
But
over the field.
we're going to talk about linebackers first, though, because the linebackers have just been steady. They've been good enough, and they are fast as hell.
Yeah.
You're not going to sit there and talk about this linebacking core of, our starters are Quan Alexander and on the Mike, CJ Mosley and the middle linebacker, and then Quincy Williams playing the will.
Mhm.
You're not going to see them being great run stuffers. Don't get me wrong. They're willing run stuffers. They fill holes,
Mhm.
but they're not guys that are big and can take on a guard or a center that
Yeah.
pushes them. They do get washed.
Yes.
But what they lack in that, they make up for, they cover the flat. We could play a cover 3, which is the way Saleh likes to play because our linebackers get in the flat and cover the flat so well. And that's exactly the way this defense is designed to run. It doesn't run well unless you have athletic linebackers especially your outside guys, but even CJ Mosley. They're leaving CJ out on an island to play underneath on tight ends every time.
Mhm.
Every time, and he needs to perform. And
Not easy.
and it's not easy. And it's something that CJ Mosley didn't do. He didn't do that in Baltimore. He was not asked to cover tight ends all the time. Obviously, it's a middle linebacker's job every once in a while, but he wasn't exclusively the guy. Usually a safety comes down. They're asking LaMarcus Joyner to play center field a lot of times in cover 3. They want Whitehead to kind of bully guys underneath and, not necessarily play high. It's on Mosley a lot of times to cover that inside seam guy. And he's doing a really good job. And our strength is our receiving, our passing, our pass protection, I guess, but
Pass defense.
our coverage with our linebackers.
Yes.
But they do hit like hard as hell. All
Mhm.
3 of them hit so
Yes.
hard.
100%. There's been some detriments. Some of the angles they've taken are not good.
Mhm.
Like you said, they can get washed. Some of the tackling hasn't been great. We saw that in the Dolphins game.
Mhm.
But they have stepped up when needed to. They
Yeah.
had, Quan Alexander made that a 4th down stop.
Absolutely.
They have done what they need to do in the crucial parts of the game. Which, listen, if you want to play a lot of bend but don't break, if you want to play a lot of these things that keeps us in games, I'm fine with it. As long as you're not allowing just a ton of points, most people aren't going to be too mad. There's some things where you look at what the linebackers do on a play, it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, or how'd you let that happen? Because like a lot of times where we're getting run on, it's because either someone on the line made a mistake or some linebacker took the wrong angle.
Yep.
But overall, like it hasn't been like this absolute trash unit. It's been a decent unit. It's been they've done what they need to do, and they've come up in crucial parts of the game.
Yeah, because in last game, the Jets were playing a lot of 8-man in the box.
Mm-hmm.
And that's dangerous to do against Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So they showed a lot of faith
Yep.
in that secondary to do their job. And again, like you said, third string QB, not necessarily going to take the shots that you would take if you had two or even Teddy Bridgewater down there. Because a lot of times they'd see 8-man with single coverage and they would just throw it on a fade, hoping to get a pass interference or a big play.
Yep.
So there is something that goes to that, which is, I think, Ulbrich knew that and knew we could crowd the box and kind of shut down Mostert, which they didn't do because Mostert had a good game.
Yeah.
But they did what they could. So our linebackers are doing enough. I hope they can continue to do that. I hope teams don't scheme against that. And we're going to see it's going to be a challenge this week with the Packers.
Yeah.
Because, Jones is a very good running back. And there's against this team, if they run in the tackles, I mean, we could be looking at a guy getting $150 and 2 scores against us. And it wouldn't surprise me because that is our weakness, is our interior rushing. Even though numbers wise, they haven't been bad this year.
Yeah.
But we will see. So let's jump into what has been our perceived strength for the last 2 years and may finally be coming to fruition. Our defensive line. Carl Lawson, we were told all last year what a monster he was going to be, right? And CJ Uzoma came in this year and said, I guarantee that Carl Lawson's going to be a monster. I played with him. I know the guy, blah, blah, blah. So far, throughout the beginning of the year, in the first few games, Last game, he was the best player on the field. And it was incredible. So average win rate for pass rushers is anywhere between 16 and 17%. Carl Lawson had a 54% win rate last week. Carl Lawson is averaging, I think, something in the 20s right now. He's ahead of Micah Parsons in win rate and only underneath Aaron Donald. Micah Parsons is bar none the best pass rusher in the NFL.
Yes.
Carl Lawson is doing something right, dude. And not to mention Quinnen Williams having an all-pro year. Bryce Huff out of nowhere becoming a monster pass rusher. Jonathan Franklin Myers being effective. Michael Clemens absolutely just running like a robot and just being incredibly scary. Jermaine Johnson hurt, but he's going to be coming back. It's not anything big. Michael Clemens, the only attribute you need to talk about is he's terrifying and he doesn't stop, okay?
So, one of the reasons I am laughing, which a lot of people won't understand, but there is someone I watch who does sports game stuff, and he created a character that he named Not the Murderer. It's just a perfect name for Michael Clemens.
It is. And that's him. And I didn't even mention Sheldon Rankins, who's having a renaissance year for the Jets, even though he was disappointing last year, came back, and next to Quinnen Williams, they're unstoppable. You double one, the other wins. They've been winning one-on-ones. And Dave, that's the biggest thing last week. The Jets, when they were one-on-one against a lineman, they won. We've seen the frustrating thing where the Jets have all been able to be stonewalled one-on-one by linemen. Yeah. And they shouldn't happen with this group. Last week, they finally stepped up and won the one-on-ones. And it was nice to see. Yeah. And it was nice to see. So with D-line, I think it needs to be more consistent. They got beat up early in the game. Yes. They've been getting beat up early in games a lot. Yes. Settling in and making plays in the second half. Fourth quarter has been incredible for the Jets overall. But I need more consistency out of this line, but it looks like they're starting to get there, Dave.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to get there. You can see, and I said this to you before we came on, I think the rotation played into effect of some of that slow start and still plays into effect some of that slow start because we rotate our line a lot more than any other team in the league, which you can love it or hate it. I know there are people on different sides of the aisle here, and I really don't care as long as they're winning. Yep. But yeah, I think that's definitely part of the slow start for these guys. Because when you're doing that rotation, you're not exactly getting into the rhythm that you might get in if you're staying in there for longer. Yeah. So, and you really need to feel this process out to understand how you're going to get past some of these offensive linemen. But either way, a lot better in this Dolphins game. And I really hope that they just keep stepping up because especially with the way our corners have been playing, if our D-line just crunches the time down, like even a couple milliseconds for that QB, that scary things are going to be happening. There are going to be more turnovers forced. So that's the thing, is that this line just needs to get a little bit better off a 4-man rush. Honestly, I mean, you said Lawson has been incredible. Every time they put Bryce Huff in that rotation, every time he's on the damn field, I mean, they put him on the third down most of the time, but he's terrifying. Every time he gets in, the QB is rushed.
I think I saw the numbers. When Lawson, Williams, and Huff were on the field for 20 dropbacks, they got pressure on 15.
It's ridiculous.
Legitimate QB pressure on 15 dropbacks out of 20.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with also Quinnen Williams is pushing his guys back and collapsing the pocket internally, which allows our guys to get upfield.
Yeah, when Quinnen
Going to be important against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, when Quinnen is just a big mean guy, like he just pushes you, it's ridiculous what the damage he can do to the pocket of an offense.
Quinnen has to be the most unassuming guy of all time because he looks like he's 13 still.
He doesn't look like he's like mean at all. Yeah.
And then when he puts the face mask on and you can't see it, you couldn't tell that he looks like a boy. Like he still looks like a little boy.
Yeah.
But then he's a little boy with the attached to a gigantic human's body.
He's a guy that blessed himself in an interview. Like he looks like the nicest guy in the world. But when he gets on a field, you could double team him. He's still going to hurt you. Like it's that simple.
And the thing is too, I have not seen any of the mini drop off that we've seen from our past guys like Mo Wilkerson or Sheldon. I don't see that. I see him getting better. Where those two guys were great early as rookies and sophomores, Quinnen's getting better and better each year. He's in year 3 now. And he finally looks like he's developing into the guy that we thought he was going to be. And I'm not worried about him getting paid and thinking he's going to drop off like the other two. So I'm excited. This D-line, I need to see more consistency, but they've done the job when they've had to. That big fumble was big. The fumble recovery when Williams absolutely fucking tossed Tyreek Hill.
He got the angry run scepter from Kyle Brandt.
He got the angry run scepter. He tried to get in, and he got. We do need to realize he did get housed by another lineman after that. He got destroyed. He held on to the ball. He got to throw Tyreek, and then I don't know who 75 is on the Dolphins, but he said no,
pushed the hell out of him,
launched him, and got him down. But it was we don't talk about that. He got destroyed, but that's okay. He held on to the football. But big man got chugging though. So
I think it was Michael Carter that tweeted out, "On God, Quinnen touched the ball and started acting different."
Yeah,
one of the most truthful statements I've ever seen.
But just the way he fucking threw Tyreek Hill, he's like, "Get off me!"
It was incredible.
It was good. Credit to Tyreek Hill for not trying to cut our guy. I give Tyreek credit. He didn't go after his knees. He could have hurt him. Yeah. Tried to face him like a man. You got what you deserve for dissing us, though, you little bastard. Anyway, let's jump on the last unit. Coaching. I got to first go. Coach Olbert, defensive coordinator. We have given him his fair share of shit over the last 2 years. He has gotten ridiculed. He's gotten destroyed. Even our good friend Hack No Cap has, ripped him on this podcast about leaving a rookie corner on an island against Stephon Diggs. And twice, not once, but twice, and paid the price. This year, I've still gone on him a little early when the line wasn't winning, when things were going on. But he seems to have buckled these guys down. And whatever plan they have, it's the coaching and the personnel, right, Dave? It's not just one, or they both have to work together. They have the personnel they want. And now we're seeing them start to do their job. The vision is coming in with what they want this defense to be, and it's happening. And I got to give credit to Coach Olbert because he stuck to it. Coach Saleh has stuck with him. And it seems like whatever he's saying, whatever he's doing with his defense is starting to work. When we need when the defense needs a play, when we need a 3 and out, when that team is getting some momentum and they need to come on and get a 3 and out, they get a 3 and out. When we need a sack on 3rd down, we get that sack. They get the strip sack. Sauce Gardner gets the interception. That comes with good coaching too. Good play calling, good coaching, putting them in the right position. So credit to Coach Olbert. I'm not going to praise him too much because I don't want to go too early because he does have his flaws. I still think he has work to do as a D coordinator, but through 5 weeks, and especially these last 2, I give him credit.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's not much more to say. Like, it's just the defense has grown into his scheme a lot better than it has. And they're opportunistic. They don't seem like they're the shutdown defense necessarily, but they're very opportunistic. Now, if what we're saying about the D-line becomes true and they become very good, then it can be a shutdown defense. Yes. But right now, the way the secondary is playing, if Joyner and Whitehead keep playing well at safety, I really don't have any hesitancy about Reed and Gardner still playing well at all. I think
And
they're going to
Carter
be
the
just fine.
second. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're just going to be just fine. But if our D line steps up to be the D line we thought it could be and become very, very dominant, then we become a shutdown defense. But for right now, I'm perfectly fine with being opportunistic and causing turnovers because that's what's happening. We are causing turnovers in our defense, and that's helping. That's something the Jets haven't had in a minute. So to see our defense cause some kind of turnovers, get the ball back for our offense to build some momentum for them and give them another chance to go on a drive is good. Hopefully that D line gets that pressure up more than it has been because that would be incredible. But for right now, I'm not too mad about it.
If teams have to rely on the run to beat us in the modern NFL, we're going to be in good shape.
Yes.
That's the thing. If they have to run through us because it's hard to pass on us,
Mm-hmm.
and even if our run is a little shaky but good enough, we're going to be in good shape.
Yes.
Let's jump into LaFleur. Mike LaFleur, not
Yes.
Matt LaFleur.
Yes.
Let's jump into Michael LaFleur, offensive coordinator. He's pissed me off sometimes, Dave. It's working. He does call creative, but you're an offensive coordinator. Stop doing run, pass. Stop it.
See,
Don't do run, pass, and don't
really
do
funny.
run. Run drives me insane. I don't care if it's 3rd and 1. Throw the fucking ball. You're in the NFL.
It's really funny because I think the thing is that, especially with LaFleur, and I know he pisses you off sometimes,
He
but
pisses me off.
you could definitely see it. He's building to something in the game.
Don't care.
It's what offensive coordinators do, though, and they're going to piss you off. You know that's going to happen.
If you're in the NFL, you should be fined for doing run, pass. You
but
should.
the thing is, especially with and he is damn creative. He'll pull out things that you just don't expect.
And his emotions. He's an emotion a lot.
Exactly. But he's always setting something up. So even when he wants the drives to continue long and every drive wants to end in a touchdown. But if it doesn't, I mean, he's already set up a play action. Let's be honest. We haven't seen a ton of play action where it's like a long hit down the field. That hasn't happened with Wilson's arm. We've had some where it's been like 15, 20, but it's going to happen soon because he hasn't he hasn't thrown that out there yet. There hasn't been that play yet. It's going to happen soon because he set up that wheel route with Carter and Breece because he already had multiple plays where they've been together. Mm-hmm. Carter is blocked for Breece or Breece is blocked for Carter, and they've gone through that kind of concept. That's why Breece was able to go undetected on a wheel route. So it is annoying as hell, but when you get to see these big plays break off because he is setting it up, he's being boring as hell sometimes because he's setting it up. If we're scoring points, I'm not that mad about it. And that's what's happening now. We're scoring points. Wilson looks confident. The team offensively doesn't look like it's confused as hell like it has been when we've done run, pass. It looks like it's meant for something. I know it's annoying as hell. I know it is. Believe me, I get it. But because it's building, I'm not very mad about it.
Zach Wilson audible out of first down runs. I don't know. In the NFL, the best teams don't run on first down. They don't. They put the ball in the quarterback's hands on first down. And sometimes it's a passing run where they do a swing pass, they dump it off. Audible out of it. Tell LaFleur to eat a dick. No. Stop being a high school offense. Don't do that. It annoys me. I don't know. I get it. You're building towards it, yada, yada, yada. No. Throw the ball. Throw the damn ball. That's it. All right. So lastly, let's go on to Robert Saleh. Highly ridiculed by the whole entire Jets fan base after week 1 when he said he was taking receipts off of people that talk shit. Dude is cashing in on all those receipts right now because, after the disappointment in week 1, when, I think all Jet fans thought that, it was coaching that lost that game a lot. There were some bad decisions made. The Jets didn't play as well as they thought they should. Ever since then, the last 4 games they battled, they've won 3 of 4. And, taking receipts thing seems to be legit. And I know the Jets now posted up twice, 2 weeks in a row, where the whole entire CBS staff has picked against the Jets. They picked all Steelers, and then they picked all Dolphins. And what happened? Both times Jets have won.
To be fair, that always happens. Anytime you see, not even just the CBS staff, anytime you see a graphic where like a bunch of people pick the same team, I would bet on the other team because that always seems to happen. It's actually a pretty great meme.
It is
But
funny.
no, that response that he had, that he was keeping receipts on what people are saying about this Jets team, it was something that was very daring to say. It was closer to something we would hear from like Rex Ryan, not exactly Robert Saleh. But it really, I mean, I didn't even think he needed to light a fire in this locker room because I thought he already had it pretty damn fired up, but it lit a fire in this locker room.
Hell yeah.
They come out expecting to win. That's the thing. They don't come out wanting to play football. No. They come out expecting to win.
Yep.
There are still some issues second and third quarter. There are still some issues second and third quarter, which I know that they know of as well. But the thing is that when it comes down to crunch time, when it comes down to fourth quarter, let me just pull up the stat real quick.
Isn't
We've
like
outscored
70 something?
We've outscored people 58-20 in the first quarter.
Incredible.
58-20 in the fourth quarter. That's only that margin, that difference is only second to Arizona, who has 40 over other people on the fourth.
Incredible.
So that is something that we don't see from Jets teams. The Jets are the type of team that we either get blown out, or if we take a lead, we fall apart in the second half so bad that we cannot come back. Like the whole Baker Mayfield became a thing because he came in and just destroyed the Jets like it's supposed to happen.
And we thought Kenny Pickett was going to do that.
It was going to happen with Kenny Pickett. And it almost seemed like it was going to. It almost seemed like it was going to. But this team, fourth quarter comes around, they say, no. We're in distance. We're in any kind of distance. All right, let's go win this game. That's it. Let's go win this game.
13-point comeback, 10-point comeback, and a wire-to-wire win so far are the three Jets wins.
Yeah.
It's been incredible.
Yeah, no, it's been something that Jets fans don't watch that. We don't see that. Talk to any Jets fan that has watched the Jets. It is never a fourth quarter comeback, and if it is, it's the most miraculous thing we've ever seen in our damn lives. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. The Browns one, you could say it was a fluke because a lot happened in our favor, especially Corey Davis getting open like that.
Yep.
Like, that's not supposed to happen. The Steelers one, that is Zach Wilson coming in and controlling a team like he's supposed to. That's awesome to witness. And now this Dolphins one, yeah, they were injured. Yeah, they're on their third string QB, but they also still have still the fastest player in the NFL and like the second fastest player in the NFL and in the third in Mostert. Yeah. So that's the thing. They still have like incredibly quick players, incredibly good players that can put up points on any team.
And Skylar Thompson played pretty damn well.
Yeah, he played well until it came down to crunch time, and he was a rookie. But that's the thing, is that, yeah, they had a third string QB in, but they were still running these gadget plays that are terrifying to watch against your team. If you see Tyreek Hill in the reverse, you think it's going for a touchdown.
Yep.
So that's the thing. The team still buckled down. They didn't collapse the way the Jets collapse all the time when these kind of things happen. So to watch this team have the growth to play through fully play through a game and win is something that is very heartening to see. It's something that gives you hope as a Jets fan. Now, a lot can go wrong in this Packers game to really hurt it a bit, but it's still a good trend. It is still a very good trend. Like, I wouldn't be surprised even if we lose this Packers game. It's because we messed up in the beginning of the game, but we fought in the fourth to even come close to it. That's, yeah, I don't want to lose. That's not an expectation for this team now. The expectation is to go out and win.
Yep.
But just to see the fight in the fourth quarter consistently is a good trend. It is a good trend for this team.
There is absolutely no give up in this team, and that has a lot to do with the coach. Robert Saleh certainly is the type of guy that you could see as no give up.
Yeah.
He calls the game, and we know there hasn't been an issue. And the thing is, this is a good problem. Dave, have you noticed any clock management issues? I haven't in the first 5 weeks, really. And that's really fantastic. Because you look at it, and what was one of the criticisms of Saleh last year? We didn't like his clock management. We didn't. But he was a rookie coach, and we expected that to be an issue. I haven't had a problem with it this year.
Yeah.
I think he's done a really nice job. And if that's the biggest thing with being a head coach is managing that clock.
In fact, you can even see the way they're playing it, especially when we have it in the last 2 minutes we drive it down to as low as possible
Yep.
to give that team damn near no time to even do anything.
And that supreme confidence in Zach Wilson and the offense to do what they designed them to do there.
Yeah.
So it's been good. Now, Dave, we have 3 games that Jets fans are saying we have winnable games. That doesn't happen.
I know. I know.
3 winnable games ahead of us. The Packers in Lambeau this week, and we travel to Denver, play the Broncos, and then we have the Patriots at home. Now, by the time we get the Patriots, Mac Jones is going to be back.
Yeah.
So, and Mac Jones is a good quarterback. I think he played out of his mind last year, but he's still a good quarterback. He's a competent quarterback. What do we do in these 3 games, Dave?
Listen, the thing is, with this team, I can see us winning all 3. With the way that we've played, we can win all 3.
And
2-1 would be incredible.
Go ahead.
2-1 would be incredible, but like you're going back to same old Jets, we can go 0-3 or 1-2.
Yep.
But I want to see 2-1. 2-1 is what is expected of this team right now.
So the interesting thing is, you look at the rest of the schedule. We talked about these 3 games, right? We could go 2-1. So let's say 2-1 feasible, 2-1 or 1-2. I don't think they lose all 3. 2-1 or 1-2. We have the Bills at home. Tough game, probably going to lose. I think we lose both games to the Bills this year. They're the Super Bowl favorites for a reason. Yes. Yeah. Then we go back to the Patriots again. We're in New England. It is a mid-November game, so it could be snow. But the Patriots are a beatable team.
Yes, 100%.
Then the Jets play the Bears at home.
So beatable. Oh,
they should beat the Bears. Then they play the Vikings. The Vikings are a good football team,
but they're beatable.
But they're Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
You look at the Barstool power rankings. Kirk Cousins has his own ranking because he's Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
So you don't know what Kirk you're going to get. Then they play the Bills again. Probably a loss. Then the next 3 games are really interesting, Dave. Lions, Jags, Seahawks. The Lions could be a high octane game. They got their shit pushed in this last week by the Patriots.
Wild.
Now they don't have Swift. They didn't have St. Brown. I think St. Brown was still hurt. They get those 2 back. They're much more dynamic, but still could be a decent game. The Jags, Trevor Lawrence is a turnover machine. Put him up against his pass rush and put him up against our secondary. No reason why we're not beating up on the Jaguars at home. We're home for them. I'm really excited, Dave, for week 17. Eugene is playing fantastic for the Seahawks. I am beyond happy for Eugene Smith, Geno Smith for everyone else. He's playing as good as we thought he could play.
Yeah.
And I'm really, there's no hard feelings that Geno Smith didn't do it here. Who knows
he got his jaw broken.
Who knows if he wouldn't have eventually done it? Yeah,
exactly.
I never saw that in Geno Smith. Honestly, I'm not going to lie.
He did have sparks. He had games where he had his sparks.
He also never had Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf on this team. Rashad Penny getting hurt obviously doesn't help that team. But that could be an interesting game. It could be a Eugene revenge game, or it could be the Jets coming of age. We could be fighting for a playoff spot there, Dave.
Yes.
And then the end of the year, they see the Dolphins with either Bridgewater or Tua back at that point. So it'll be a much more bigger game in week 18.
Yeah.
Dave, there's no reason the Jets aren't above 500 by the end of this year with that schedule.
That's the thing. You watch the way they play. Like I said, I brought up the 4th quarter. You watch the way they're playing in the 4th. Unless this is same old Jets and they kind of implode, this team should fight for the playoffs. It is a 7-team playoffs.
Yep.
It's extended.
At most, I'm seeing 5 losses here. Packers, Bills twice, Vikings, and maybe the Seahawks, depending on if, Eugene goes crazy. Maybe Patriots steal 1. Maybe. 9-8, 10-7, feasible.
Yeah.
Feasible 9-8 and 10-7, which is incredible considering where the Jets were last year. Robert Saleh's coach of the year if they do that.
Well, it depends on how the Giants keep playing because Brian Daboll may be coach of the year. But
Danny Dimes exists, okay? He's going to implode. They just need to blow on his hand from behind and he fumbles. He still has fumbling.
But still,
Saquon's a monster.
If they play, if they keep this up in some kind of way, in some facet, Brian Daboll's coach of the year.
Give him co-coach of the year. They're both in New York. They would probably take it happily.
But either way, just the feeling around this team. Now, like I said, this game against the Packers could really blow all of it away. Could blow a lot of it away.
Yep.
But the feeling around this team says that we have we should be fighting for the playoffs.
Mhm.
Like Wilson's confidence in the pocket, him not just going out and throwing into every turnover worthy play possible shows that we can fight for the playoffs if we're playing the way we're supposed to be playing. I have a good amount of hope for this team. We'll see what happens against the Packers. There's a little bit of anxiety there because I like there's a vision in my head of like 40-12, and the Packers are just leaping into the stands the whole time.
Something new with the butt fumble, something else. Not the butt fumble versus the Jets will be creative.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. I really do feel like we walk out of Lambeau with a win, and I think if we walk out of Lambeau with a win, we could really run the table before our bye, at least until the Bills. We can go 3-0. We can go 3-0 because the Broncos have been absolutely terrible. The Broncos
win somehow
have been trash. It's because of their defense, but they've been awful. And the Patriots, Belichick's still Belichick, but they're not very good. They're not
the same old Patriots.
Exactly.
For all intents and purposes, as long as Tua or Bridgewater come back in good time, the Patriots should be the last place team in the division, which is incredible to say.
Yes. Yeah.
But it could also be 8 and 9 in last place because this division should be good.
Yeah, this division can definitely be good. I think right now, it's like if it holds up, the NFC East is the best division
by
in football.
Far, they're incredible. But 2 Super Bowl contenders in that division. I don't count the Giants yet. They're playing well, but you can see the Cowboys and Eagles as legitimate for the past few years.
Yeah, that division is ridiculous. But this AFC East division can be very good too. So this has been a lot of hopeful Jets talk.
Yes.
We've picked on some weaknesses, but we haven't been harshly critical.
We'll see in a few weeks if we can come back. We'll do a halfway maybe show at some point, and we'll see if we're sitting there looking at it and going, well, we were 3-2, and now we're 3-6. It would be very Jets like.
That would be terrible, but it's not like it's unforeseen.
Robert Saleh's on the hot seat. Zach Wilson's not the guy.
Yeah.
Breece Hall got a catastrophic, something went wrong. He lost his sphincter in one game. He needed to have it surgically put back. Something stupid will happen to the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean.
And Tyler Conklin has become our leading receiver. We've lost 4 games in a row.
It's a lot of hopeful feelings. It's the best I felt about a Jets team in a long time. So
best I felt about it since Chad Pennington was the starting quarterback. Mm-hmm. And that says a lot.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. This was a long one, but it's always long when we talk about the Jets. Next week we will be back with a guest. Next week is very exciting for our guests. So you guys are all going to enjoy it. We're back to political talk, so it'll be a good time. So everyone, I really appreciate you stopping by the Alex Questa Show. Like, share, follow, subscribe, rate 5 stars, Spotify and iTunes. Spread this word of mouth. Go find us on the socials and look forward to David making videos soon. David is going to be dropping
very soon.
Videos. Have we figured out a name yet for your little segment?
I'm going to hold it.
We have a working title.
I'm going to withhold it in case I want to change it.
Okay. And please, if you're a track fan, you like running, go listen to Talking in Ovals with me and Dave Hyatt. It's another show that I do. We talk track and field running all over there. We've been having great guests lately there too. So go look over there. The Opinions Podcast Network may be coming back at some point. Probably not. We're kind of like a week, little 2-show, maybe David thing. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. It was a long one. It was a fun one. Go Jets. Hopefully we're not 3-6 next time we talk.
Yes.
So long, everyone.